Start the recording. And officially, good morning. Welcome, everybody, to the Market Watch Group weekly opening bell. My name is Scott. I will be your host. As always, I need to remind you that we are not brokers or advisors. We don't give advice or recommendation. We are for educational, illustrative purposes only. What are we going to do today? We're going to look at the opening futures. Looking pretty good. Looking like we said a window looks like it's opening. A bullish window. Is what we were looking for this week based on our posture yesterday. I think I forgot to put the recording up. I'll go check, but everyone's here was there. We'll just take a quick peek at the economic calendar and the posture mindset for open trades. Not a lot open, but if you held some trades bullishly. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for you. I didn't have a ton open. If you had a lot open, probably should be a good morning. The screen's not on? Shit. What's going on? I swear it was on. I was just testing. There's the agenda. Got it. Okay, my bad. I just started talking. Okay, tell me about some trades you have open. What did you carry? What do you have? We'll look at them. What are we doing this morning? We just met. Not even 24 hours ago. I've had people ask me that. Why so? We just did market posture. This isn't market posture. This is trading posture. We don't label it that. Trading posture is pervasive Monday through Friday. It kicks in at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 Central, 7:30 for me, 6:30 if you're in California. Market posture is the umbrella of understanding that sort of creates this. Here's what we're doing here. Trading posture, we're in the trenches. What are you doing today? Not like, oh, I'm bullish overall. I'm a 5. Not to mock ourselves. But we've got to get the rubber on the road now. What does that translate to? Are you trading today? Is there a signal? Are you going to take it? Are you holding? Are you going to keep holding? Are you going to close? Right? This is where... And I would say Glenn would attest to the same thing when we're working with individuals in a coaching setting. This is that hard piece, right? Where it's like the hesitation. And then if we hesitate, then all of a sudden we're not trading the way we were. This is the kind of thing that makes it so that people have a disconnect between paper trading and live trading. They'll make money in paper, then they'll go live. And when they go live, they hesitate in a way that they didn't hesitate when they were on paper. And then all of a sudden they don't make money when they're trading live. And then they go back to paper and everything's fine again. Well, because they're much more relaxed and, right? They don't sit and stare at it all day like they do when there's real money. I mean, we need to understand the differences. But for me, the key difference starts at the concept of trading posture. If you've looked at the trading plan, you'll be like, what's the difference between market posture and trading posture? Market posture. How do we see the market right now? The core elements, we're bullish. We have bullish trends. We have a slight bit of concern in volume. Let's dive into it. We went through that. We said we're going to look at the posture. So what does it mean? Our market posture is a 4.75. Steven has SoFi. I knew someone had SoFi. What do we have getting carried? We've got a financial, communication services, technology, and SOUN. I don't know that one. PLTR, technology. Everyone's carrying some PLTR. Very much. Love that. Okay. So we're bullish overall here. What are the concerns? You can see the VIX dropped 1/4 point. The volume dropped 1/4 point. and the sector increased by 1/4 point. So what does that mean for me? Well, for me, that's good. I'm okay with volume. I think volume will stabilize on its own. The VIX is already setting up for a lower high. If we get a bullish day today, it literally could trigger the lower high, and we'll get that point back next Sunday. And if we take out the low, we'll get another point, and this thing can end up at 1.25. So I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking to myself, everything looks solid in the market. What does that give me the ability to do? It gives me the ability to ignore when people are like, "Oh, October's so bad. What are you gonna? We gotta watch out." October worked out great. Can I get an amen if you had a positive October? I mean, it's not over yet, but we're there, right? Like, come on. Thank you. A positive October. It was a great October. Last October wasn't great. Last October, nobody would have said anything because we all were like, "Oh, October was tough." Few of you were with me there. I know it. Steven, I know. Sandy, Bob. October last year was hard. This year is okay. And now what? Well, last year when we came out of that hard October, November, December, January, February, March, that was just like this beautiful run. Okay. We've got the Fed behind our backs. We've got solid fundamentals in the market. We've got a good posture. I mean, I'm never going to be like, "Oh, this is the greatest ever." So this just means I'm ready to open my risk levels up to maximum portfolio heat. If that's 15%, it's 15. If it's 8 for you, it's 8. It's 12, whatever it is. That's actually just coincidentally, this is going to be my reference today. That's what we're talking about this week. Section 4, risk management. What is your portfolio heat? How much total risk are you willing to take? If you're new, you might start with just a standard number, 5%, right? 8%. And then what do? Then you break that down into trade risk. 1% per trade. Well, great. There it is. That's 5 trades, 8 trades. If I have 1% per trade, then I'm willing to have 5 to 8% risk. That's 5 to 8 trades. Things like that, right? Those are the things that you're thinking about. And how many trades? I would be comfortable having 12 to 15 trades on personally. I'm going to have a lot of automation. I don't sit and stare at it. A lot of people would not be comfortable with that number of trades. I know people who are like, they say, "Scott, when I get to trade 5, I start to get a little bit apprehensive." Great. You just told yourself how many trades. These are the concepts that we're trying to figure out. How many trades, how much risk per trade, how much total risk, how do I move that around and allocate that to make sure that I always have my risk under control? How do I adjust the risk? What if our posture all of a sudden took a steep drop? What are we gonna do? Just keep trading? Just keep smashing our way forward? That's what a lot of people do. And then what happens is they make money in good markets, and then they lose more and when it turns around. And then they make money in a good market, and they lose more when it turns around. And that's not effective. We need to make more money in the good markets, lose less when it turns around. Make money in the good markets, lose less. That's an uptrend. That's a growing account. Right? How are you correlating your risk to the market? What are your tsunami indicators? I promise you will be glad. Right now, I have a hedge on. It looks like I'm going to take it off. How am I going to do? Lose a little. I'm willing to lose a little on a hedge because when they work, they work. Give me a sign if you've changed your hedging philosophy and hedging game over the last 6 months or so, or since you've been in the group. Too many people just don't think about hedging as just a slice of risk management. It's there. You do it. You hedge, put it on, take it off, give yourself a little bit of cushion to work with in transitionary periods. Got to have it. It's got to be a part of it. And the last piece of this that you should be thinking about this week, and we'll discuss this tonight. And if they don't work, means market's doing well, right? I mean, it's, it's a tough one sometimes, but exactly right. We lose money on car insurance, hopefully every year. When to take a break. That's important to define. What would cause you to just be like, okay, I need to take a step back and pull out of that. All right, so that's it for the trading plan. Since we were there, let's get back in real quickly to the futures. What do we have? Futures are up, real nice. 0.5% on the S&P, 0.5% on the Dow. 3/4 on the NASDAQ, 3/4 on the Russell. Oil is down 6.5%. 6.5%. So we, as a consensus group, we're like, we're not buying it. We're not seeing it. This was a blip, and we thought, you know what? It got a little overblown back here, and now you can see 6% down. We're back near the lows. I feel like we did well in how we processed oil and processed this geopolitical event. I think here's the thing I would say. Take note. Think about what we did. I know that eventually everyone who's here won't be here, and I hope that whenever you're done here, you're still trading. That's like, if that's what happens, then I've succeeded if you're still trading. When you're still trading, I can tell you from my coaching career, I would see people 5-7 years after I had worked with them. And one of the things they would talk about is the market posture process. Interestingly, right? Like that process resonated so much. That's literally what helped lead it to the crux of this group is like, hey, you know what it boils down to? Get the market right, and everything else falls into place. It's right. It's the blade of grass mentality, the humility required for us to be successful in the market. And so, I think it's important that you recognize, how am I processing things like geopolitical events, elections, interest rate uncertainty, or interest rate movement, right? All of these things that come and go. This time we're talking about one thing. Next year we'll be talking about another. We're always talking about something. How are you processing it? Hopefully you feel like you're processing things better already. Let's pop in. Markets open. Okay. So you can see now, what do we have going on? I've got if you just looked at the stochastics, now I never advised looking only at the stochastics first, but we know we're going to go back up top. But I want you to notice, what do we have? We have one here. We have that cross, great time. We have one here, great time. We have one here, great time, and we have one going right now. You'll notice that this one's a little higher than this one, a little higher than this one, which matches the trend. You'll notice the trend just had a higher high, higher low. We also have a red candle, which is so funny how often people are like, well, but the candle's red. Well, the trend is up. The market's up 0.5%. It gapped up. Stochastics has turned. And then you come in. Great question, Chief. You asked that. So yesterday you snuck out on me. But I wanted to show one thing. And I'll tell everybody this now. So if you come in here to resources and you come to the content library, and when you click on that, it will take you. Oh, I thought I had it up. And you come here into the content library. I wanted to show this because somebody else said they didn't look in here because it says check back soon for updates. So I need to adapt that, actually. Oh, It's under construction, but still open. What's here? So if you're brand new, I have an entire, my voice is going in and out. Okay, hold on a second. Thank you for telling me. Let me check my audio. Where are you? Oh, let me go back. I wonder if it's because I switched channels. Let me move this back over now that I got this. I'm all excited. I'm all like, hey, take a look. Okay, here we go. Audio is in and out. Let me make sure. What's going on here? Okay, how is it now? How is it now? Good. Perfect. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Let me pop back over here. So if you are, and I'll tell you this, I spent some time yesterday in the Circle platform. It's going to be awesome, you guys. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so cool. So, Chief, in not too long. So for now, you just come in here and you can start at the beginning. Oh, I'm missing a link here. I can fix this one. I do have this. This is the Trading Foundations course. And you can just kind of see, what do I need? Understanding the markets, understanding brokerage platforms and accounts. Like, it'll get to the very, very beginning if you want to go to the very, very beginning. If you need help with technical analysis, reading charts, that's there. If you need help with risk management, that's there. Stages of a trade. God, that's a good one, you guys. If you haven't watched that one, go watch that one. Yeah. Trading psychology, paper trading, trading systems, market posture, trading posture. That's two things we just talked about today. Fundamental analysis. You'll hear me laugh a lot on that one because I'm like, funny mentals. Building routines, building a trading plan, record keeping, analytics. We talk a little bit about options there. Right? So and then you have options. I actually have a full options. This is 8. I have a 16 options. These are all going to be built as courses where you'll be able to mark which ones you've done and think. And anyway, it's going to be much better organized. So this all exists for you now. If you want to break down the market posture, here are 6 videos that break down those components. So Stephen, the options course live was really to film those videos that we have now. And now the live has become just the generic working sessions. Yeah. So that's the Trading Foundations is Tuesdays and Thursdays. But you'll notice now we break it into a 45-minute session that's kind of open for beginners to come. And that's what Sandy was saying. Chief, is that first 45 minutes, that's for anybody to ask any question. We keep it, we don't go into detailed option strategies or anything. We keep it at the basic level. Typically, I'll build a trade from start to finish on Tuesdays or Thursdays. And it's, we also have your first stock trade video series in the resources channel. So we have a ton of content recorded that you can go back and access to really work on your trading, understand concepts, and then you can come into the live sessions to apply it, to talk about it, to see it in action, and hopefully find that mix. But as I was playing with that circle, I was like, oh, we might lose some things. It has live streams in the thing. It has the ability to do meetup sessions. We have some gamification stuff. We'll have courses. Like, it's going to be pretty awesome. So I hope that helps. I hope that walks you through it. Let's get back to the market. Even now, as you look at the opening range, I'm not like looking at this and thinking, oh, if you look at the opening range, it's down a little bit. Great. We're 10 minutes in. Let this thing figure itself out. Be getting ready. What does that mean? Let's go through the watch lists. And yes, I would absolutely trade SPY. Are any of you trading a good number of ETFs? Like a bunch of us traded XLU when we saw a utility trade. Right now, I'm looking at XLI because I'm not finding a great industrial stock that I think looks as good as the composite of the group. I'll trade IWM, I'll trade QQQ, I'll trade SPY. You don't got to worry about earnings. You're going to have good, strong liquidity there. I love ETFs. So hopefully you're starting to see that we don't just watch them, we also trade them. Let's get to the watch list here. Good discussion today. Chief, I hope that is helpful to you. And anyone else who's new. Do we have anyone else new? I didn't even look. Who do we have here? Press is here now. Billy Ray. We got the usuals. The group is strong right now. I've noticed that. As we've added, I feel like we've just got a stronger core group, and I think we're seeing a push right now. We're going to see some more of that. I'm super excited about where we're going. Super excited. Let me get to the top of my list, and let's start with Apple. So I said, I actually feel like if you wanted to pull a 3-day, like I take it Monday, and I believe I have until Halloween. So I have Thursday. If you want to take 3 days in Apple, I think it's got to run. I'm thinking about it. A 3-day trade, just like in and out. What do you get? It's set up for it. Stochastics is turning. We're early in the day, but later today, if I still look like this. Straddle on Apple. Okay. Aflac. It's holding up on the 50, but you've got earnings right over here. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that one. Amazon's trying to turn, see if it's gonna break through. This is one here where I don't think we would have the Heiken Ashi candle yet. Oh, actually we do. Honestly, same kind of thing. I don't know, maybe not. You've got a lot of big ones this week. We've got Apple, we've got Amazon, we've got Google, we've got Meta. We've got Microsoft, right? A lot of big tech throwing down earnings. So we've got a little bit of time up until, and then, bam, it comes. Style, candle. APO is close. I think we have time to put that on. Extra 4 or 5 days before earnings there. AppLovin. It's bullish. It looks like it's trying to break out of this little flag pattern here. It's on a run. I'm thinking about that too. AXP setting up. Give it another day or two for some confirmation. We've got a nice one there, potentially. Bank of America got shook on the hiccup. What did we notice about the hiccup? There's no volume. No volume at all. So we're not surprised to see this thing bouncing back. BK. Oh, BK looks close. BK gave a candle turn, but never really the stochastics confirmation. Now you're getting the stochastics confirmation. I like BK. Very strong. Very good this week, I think. BX looks strong this week. There's plenty of potential setting up in financials, even as we speak. Industrials, what do we see? Caterpillar turning, giving a signal. Problem is what? We've got earnings coming out in a couple of days. Add it to the list, which means, let me jump down here. So the core thing here is our watch list, Chief. Our watch list is this is an animal that we feed and we nurture and we pet and we nourish. It's a living, breathing thing. Our watch list. It's a representation of us as a trader at any given time, right? I look at these sites that are like, you can have 25 watch lists and 50 stocks per watch list, and I'm like, oh, I can watch 1,250 stocks. Thank you. Watch list is a seat at the table. Like these aren't given out lightly. Only stocks that are high liquidity, that have the options we would be willing to trade, that behave in a certain way, that right. Like there are not many stocks that could even qualify. I don't know, 400 at any given time that could even make it to my watch list, that even exist. Right? There's not 12,000 stocks that I'm choosing from. That's ridiculous. Right? There's just garbage stocks all over the place that I wouldn't even consider. So this watch list that we're going through is a product of our market posture, of watching the sectors get stronger or weaker. Stronger sectors, we start to buff out that group by putting more leaders, right? So this is a big piece of where are you going to find your trades? Well, we're going to find them right here on this watch list. You'll notice we're in earnings season, and so I have this window open over here to make sure I can see, wait a second, I've only got 2 days before this thing could pull like an IBM on me, right? Where it's like, oh, everything looks great. Earnings. That's why we don't sit through them. And could it go the other way? That's why I don't. I always say, you'll come to your own rule when it comes to earnings. You'll find a rule because you'll hold one time and it'll be like, oh, that was amazing. I love it. And then the next time it'll kick your teeth in and you're like, oh, I don't know if I like that though. Yeah. I find earnings like driving, right? You could tell your kids all kinds of stuff and warn them. But once they get in that first wreck where like that shit got real for them, all of a sudden things change. Both my kids, one accident. And they drove a lot different after that. Okay, let's get back to the list. Chipotle kept moving. If you held it, earnings coming out tomorrow after market. Be careful with your exits. Coherent setting up, knocking. If I get the trigger, I have time before earnings. Nice little piece there setting up. There's the Dow. Dow looks bullish. There's Fastenal. Fastenal is on our list of industrials. And that's looking pretty viable here. Right? And again, we're 17 minutes in. We're not jumping to any conclusions, but that's looking pretty viable. I'm starting to think about that. These are, if you go back, Chief, if you go back and you look at our trade alerts channel, you can go back and see what alerts came out on what days and be like, oh, okay. And you'll be like, this is the exact kind of thing that would create an alert right here. Stochastics is turning. We seem to be bouncing off of this support level, higher low, right? You're seeing the strategies used, right? So if you're looking for like a very specific like A plus B technical analysis formula, that's not really what we do, right? Because it's about like this system that we're looking at here. This is a bounce trade, bouncing off of what? Support. How do we know this is support? Well, we don't know. It's a higher high, resistance, higher low, right? The sellers push it down. It hits this low. And what's it doing now? Whoop. It's bouncing. That's a bounce. Now, what do you have? You have a technical confirmation. Those are the things that you would put together to make a system, right? A strategy. So this is a bounce strategy. You have breakout strategies. You have continuation strategies. When you make a trade, what are you doing? You're saying, I think this is going to go up. Why do you think that? Well, because I think it's bouncing off support. Because I think it's breaking through resistance. Because I think it's continuing in its current momentum. Those are three stories that all indicate it's going a certain direction, right? Now, what leads to that? Well, you're going to see traders put together thousands of quote-unquote strategies or systems, millions of systems, literally. What are we trying to do here? We're trying to boil it down to make sense. We have to have an entry, a trigger, a stop, a target, a time frame, build a trade. You're seeing it real time, right? When you think about like, oh, this strategy with this, you're going to see people who want to sell you systems that used to work, and you'll buy it, and then maybe it works and maybe it doesn't, right? If you don't have the tools to adapt that system, then you're just buying someone's leftover system. This is moving away from that and into learning how to trade. That's what we want. So I hope you're seeing that in effect, right? This is, if I were to go back and say, hey, look, here is a stock, and I hope this is confirmation for everybody else. When did I want to get into this trade that's already moving along this line? Back here. When did I want to get in this trade that made this move? Back here. That's when the signal came out, right? There was no scanner. We don't need a scanner. What are we scanning for? We have a watch list. We're watching trades develop, and then we pull the trigger. Yeah? It's going to change your mindset. I'll tell you that. So that's the first thing I would say. Don't think, oh, I need to scan for trades, right? The first stock trade, that's a good one too, Lee. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah. So like I said, every trade we find, every trade on the alerts that we've had is going to come from our watch list. We don't scan for trades. We search for stocks to add to the watch list. We add those stocks to the watch list. We watch that watch list daily for setups. As they have setups, we create a short list. From our short list, we wait for triggers. When we get triggers, we pull the trigger and we make the trade. And we manage it. And we do it over and over. And it's an ongoing process. Right? And I know everybody else is watching stocks that aren't on this list. That is what we do. That is what will let you adapt, right? Things like that. How do you set up a watch list? That's going to depend on your platform. I'm going to tell you this. Become friends with ChatGPT. That's the easy question where you say, how do I set up a watch list on Thinkorswim? Or you go to YouTube and you say, how do I set up a watch list on Thinkorswim? There's just copious amounts of data there, of content there, where you can just get easy walkthroughs for sure. Okay. So let's get back to the watch list. And yeah, I tell people, learn the questions that are just so easy that you can, even a free ChatGPT, you don't even have to pay for it. You're not even asking it hard stuff when you ask it stuff like that. It'll just spit out. ChatGPT's just Google, only better. It'll talk to you, walk you through it, set it up better. Everyone who's scared of AI is ridiculous. I'll tell you that too. You guys know how I feel. All right, let's get to the rest of this. Gold, overextended. I'm not looking at gold right now. Maybe even pulling out a little bit. You can see Google looks good. It's pre-earnings. You have one day. We already said we're probably just going to watch and see what happens there. Goldman is another one. Finding support, right? What are the principles here? Higher high, higher low. What do you mean higher low? Well, this low that it's finding is higher than this low. That was its last low, higher low. The last time the stochastics was down here and gave a good signal right there, It's doing the same thing at a higher point. That means the trend is intact. Those are trading principles, not necessarily, like anything beyond that. Home Depot setting up and possibly triggering today. Possibly even giving me... Now, when I say triggering, what am I going to have to be able to do? Well, I have to be able to look at this and say, if I get in here, where's my stop? Do I put it back down here? Do I put it here? Do I come all the way up into here? I would be fine putting it below these red bodies and this because I have this candle. So I'd be like, oh, I can put my stop at $3.99. Now I'm taking $5 of risk. Can I get 15? Do I think that this could get to 420? If yes, then with those parameters, I have a 3-to-1 trade. If it gets to 420, I make 3. If it stops out down here, I lose 1. Trade. Home Depot. Nope, overextended, too close to earnings. IBM, I'm giving it a little grace because I like IBM. I'm partial. But it doesn't look great. We'll see what happens. Small caps, signaling. That's the only way I trade small caps is IWM. I don't look to go play certain individual small caps. I just trade the IWM if I like small caps. JCI, and I do. That looks nice. We've seen small caps showing increased strength in our major market analysis yesterday, right? JCI, flat. If it's industrials, it's XLI or FAST for me, right? By maintaining this watch list, Chief, it allows us to make sure we don't pull the trigger on 5 technology trades and nothing in other sectors and find ourselves over-correlated into one aspect of the market, right? I don't really believe in diversification per se. I believe in spreading risk and not over-correlating into any one sector. So I guess in that regard, it's a measure of diversification. MasterCard looks good, but you don't have a lot of time before earnings. McDonald's, I told you guys, don't count out McDonald's yet. Anytime you're within this time proximity of the McRib, there should be some overall excitement about McDonald's. Has that all settled down now? They're poison onions? Is that what it ultimately was? Anybody know the updates? They do have onions in the McRib, so I hope that they get rid of all the poison onions before then. That's the only thing I can hope. I'm going to eat it either way. I got to say, I think Press strikes me as like a health guy. I knew he was going to say, even as I started to say it, he said something. I was like, I make him shudder. Every time I talk about it, Press sits there and he's like, it's like nails on chalkboard for him. He's like, Scott, you got to shut up about the McRib. Hearing about it hurts my healthy heart. Oh my God. Okay. It's too funny. I do love it though. I'm not even playing around. Meta's got earnings. Got to wait a little bit. Okay. See, I knew it, Press. Morgan looks good. I definitely think it's going to be tough to trade technology this week. Like you can trade it for a few days and then you got to be careful with earnings. I think financials look all good and set up. I think there's some action potentially for us in industrials as well. But these guys, their earnings are just knocking on the door. NDAQ just happened. Nothing there. Maybe TSM or NVIDIA. There's Netflix. Still looks strong. Oh, PLTR. Come on, PLTR. You guys can see it's hanging out. This thing can move, but it's a little under. I don't love it. Thinking about starting to tighten up, maybe pull a little piece. PayPal. Here's the Qs today. Look okay. RTX. Well, RTX looks setting up. So right there, Chief, if you notice, I said, oh, that looks like it's setting up. What does that mean? It means this thing just hit its highest point, and now it's having a nice little pullback. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and this thing has pulled it back all of 3%. So same thing like here, where it pulls back. Now you can see it pulls back, and then it grinds along sometimes. So we're not like, oh, we better hurry and jump in. That's what we're watching for. What's the next signal? So, Southern Company, utilities, maybe setting up. There's SoFi. Day before earnings, I bet Steven's about done. Here's SPY. We're still bullish, but only a little less now. I mean, it's still up. We want to see if this holds. Tesla's pulling back a little bit. TSM. I think TSM is still setting up. It hasn't even filled this gap. I think that looks fine. TTD. Here is the dollar. Dollar's so strong. We were watching it, waiting for all this to happen, and then just 2 weeks later, bam, it's all the way back up. And the VIX. Is today a lower high? No, we're still inside of the prior day. I can't call, you can see this hasn't rolled over yet, but it looks like we're 1 day away. Like one more if it stays like this today and then tomorrow's a bullish day and we have a red candle, that is now a lower high. That is confirmed. Like that's just very nice. I'll close any remaining hedges. I would definitely look to increase my bullishness. Walmart. 80's looking pretty strong, but in a little bit of a consolidation. Let's rattle through the XLs and we'll be done here. We've already talked about the trading plan. Good session today. Good way to start Monday. I love kind of inventorying where our trades are, everyone. I like that. That was helpful. XLC, yeah, I mean, it's bullish, but maybe starting to start again. Energy is down. Financials look setting up. Industrials look setting up. Those two are our strongest for me right now. Technology looks strong, but you're just sitting right on top of earnings. So you just have to be careful with whatever you see there. Staples, nothing much. Utilities, maybe starting to set up, but not as advanced. Healthcare is at new lows. I'm not really interested in healthcare. Consumer discretionary led by the recent surge in Tesla. It's hard to read what that is. It looks overextended and it's being led by one stock. So, okay. What's this? What's the final trading posture story for me? I'm bullish, of course. I'm carrying some bullish and they look fine. Although even one, I'm like, oh, I don't know. We'll see. I've got setups developing in financials and industrials that I'm looking at and preparing to start taking, possibly even today and throughout this week. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Here we go. McDonald's has been dealing with recent E. coli linked to their quarter pounder, which affected 75 people across 13 states. Yeah, I mean, look, when you make omelets, you break eggs. I'm just saying. The source was identified as slivered onions from a single supplier, Taylor Farms. Oh, Taylor Farms. You guys are in a lot of trouble. Your name out like that. McDonald's has since removed these onions from their supply chain, resumed selling quarter pounders without them. Yeah, I think everything's going to be just fine. Yes, I can do that now. I move it over here sometimes. Miguel's asking for the watch lists. So let me, and I'll go update. Remember that, and Miguel, We will have the ability to download things like the watch list easier using Circle. Okay, so this is, if you want to take a quick snapshot this way, this is A through N. And actually, you know what? Let me export to file. And I'm going to save this. And everybody's going to get it right now. Ooh. Send. Boom. Look at that. There it is. You have today's watch list. Can you see what I'm doing on Circle? Yeah, I'll give you a quick preview. Oh, Graylin. Hi, Graylin. Good to see you. Let me show you. Okay. Okay, so look. This is our, you know, it's the same thing. You've still got the bull, super familiar. You've still got, now I'm changing things up a little bit, but you're going to see here, there's beginner's corner, ask a question. Now look at this learning and resources section. It's going to have the Trading Foundations course. So this is a course. And when you come here to this course, come on, Circle. You got to go faster. You're embarrassing me in front of my friends. There'll be a dashboard, and it'll be like you'll be able to see what your completion rate is. Like, well, each one of those will be a lesson. It's going to be, so we'll have the Trading Foundations course will be here, and you'll see how much you've done. Good to see you, Lee. See you soon, buddy. Market posture. And then you'll see here we have the events. So like our live market sessions, the meetups, the live. And so, yeah, now there's also going to be a leaderboard. I'm going to implement some gamification. So like as people post and things, it can, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking of some cool things. But this is going to make everything easier. It's all internal. You don't have to, when people come on, they'll come in here. There'll be like onboarding places. You can give your intro. What's the prize? Mad respect from the group. Mad respect from the group. There is no tangible award that can measure up to mad respect from the what? Sandy, come on. Come on. Okay. I do think we should have a trading contest or something, like trade of the month where you can submit like your best trade. Oh yeah, everyone who wants it, because I think this is going on. So the test subjects are going to help build it out, and then you'll be able to walk people, you know. So I want everyone. Like if everyone in this group's like, I want to be on the test group, boom, you're in. Let's go. Let's get this thing working. It's too much. It just right. I mean, it looks very similar, but it looks cleaner. It looks, you know, you're going to be able to find things. So, for example, if I go to the group market sessions, I'm not sure yet when we're going to start. So here's like our events, and you can see, oh, what's next is our midweek check-in. Now, you'll have to get used to it as I moved the market sessions here and the foundations here. So that the trading foundations, that's the Tuesday, Thursday. So it would be like, oh, here's the beginner session, right? So I'm even going to break it up so that Glenn session of mine, like it's going to all be, I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing. Suggestions, there will be that up here. The suggestion box hasn't been built yet. It wants a password. Oh, it's not available for I'll send invites. I'll send invites when it's ready. Actually, I won't. Our admin will, but I'll tell them to. Yeah, I need a little bit more time. I got to walk through with some other people. Yes, Sam, Circle is going to completely take place of Discord. When we make this transition, we're gonna kind of sunset Discord. The what's been happening, just if you haven't heard, is as we've been growing, we've been getting a lot of friction bringing people on. So we've realized that it's a great solution, but it's just, we don't have young kids who go figure it out. We need hand holding, and it was too much. It was creating too much back office work for people to have to get on and spend a couple hours walking them through. This is going to be much cleaner and easier. In fact, even when you first come on, there's going to be like an onboarding process where, so Chief comes on and he's like, what do I do? Yeah, I get it. I want to have more information so that when you come on, you're like, oh, I do this. I download the trading plan and then I watch this video and then I agree. There needs to be more onboarding, 100%. That's what we're working towards, and this will give us that ability, I've realized. So that's why I'm so excited about it. Amazing. Thanks, guys, for the extra 10 minutes. I've got to run too, but I will see everybody tonight. Glenn will be on 6 p.m. for the beginner session. No, what day is today? Today's Monday. Tomorrow night. I'm sorry. Tomorrow night. Nothing else is. Oh, tonight is happy hour. Yeah. Come hang out and let's chat about all this. I'll bring this up more. Let's talk about it for sure. Thanks, everyone. See you soon. Happy trading.